Okay. So just for clarity, I'm not an owner. I'm the legal counsel. So back in 2010, Cooper registered his trademark, which was a crest design with a jockey in the center of it. We believe that Jockey, just a quick glance at the trademark register shows that Jockey will challenge anything that has the word jockey or remotely looks like a jockey in their mark. So that's how his registration got flagged. So they challenged the registration, and like he said, he didn't fight it. Later on, he decided to use one of his other trademarks to go ahead and register. But again, because it's a jockey, they challenged it. But now he said, no, I'm not going for that, and I'm going to fight this. Throughout the process, we have learned what it looks like is that when they discovered him back in 2010, they engaged in a scheme to create additional marks that look like his marks, as well as clothing designs. So the clothing designs is arguably not really protectable, but because it's not something that they did before and they came after him, it really does show you a string of events that look like they were engaging in what's called unfair competition. So they're creating these things to get him out of the market. They have the pockets to, market and advertise and promote their brand so that it overshadows his and no one will look at his. So when it came time to challenge it, then they're saying, oh no, we're first and you're diluting on our brand, to kick him out. But he ain't having it, and we're gonna fight this all the way to the end. So right now we have filed numerous motions, but we're now at a standstill. We're waiting for the board. So it's not a court, but it's an administrative agency to make a ruling on the outstanding motions that we have, hopefully to dead a lot of this. That's
because as far as I know, trademarking and as counsel, just because jockey, the word is in it, they don't own the word, right?
So they do own the word, but it's for a specific service or a product. So when you get a trademark, your trademark doesn't monopolize. So for instance, let's just take SHEEN magazine. Well, I can't say that because I don't know what services they have, but let's take Jockey. Jockey has the word jockey, and they own it for underwear and some apparel, as well as like retail services. But if someone wanted to open a pizza shop called Jockey, they could probably open a pizza shop called Jockey. So the trademark, so what determines whether or not there is infringement is whether or not the services are related. Essentially here, they're arguing that that is not just related, but that they're related, competitive, and identical services. And the marks are too similar. We're arguing, well, you can't argue that it's too similar when you copied my stuff.
Yeah, because it's only similar now. It's not similar as a result of the initial filing. It's similar now.
Exactly.
So this is more like a kind of similar to like Dapper Dan and like the textile designs that he did in the 80s, and then Gucci stealing it.
So I'm not
give them a job.
So I'm not going to speak to any other cases where I don't know the facts, but let me just tell you really generally, because we said we didn't want to get all the way down into the legalese. Trademark rights are acquired by who uses that trademark first, okay? If anybody comes after you with a similar mark, so it doesn't have to be identical, but a similar mark for related or the same goods that might confuse the consumer because the marks are so similar, then there's trademark infringement.
Gotcha.
Here, the issue was that they did have a jockey design, which they had, in some instances, just completely stopped using. His jockey design was totally different than the one that they alleged that they were continued using. But then when they discovered him and started looking at his website, and we know that they were investigating him because his website was not disclosed in his application. But here they go, send him a cease and desist letter talk with all these with pictures and stuff from his website and all that kind of stuff. So they were looking for him. They were checking for him. And then all of a sudden they tried to register, what was it, like 3 more marks that now look real close. I mean, almost identical to his mark. Whereas before they had pretty much like a stick figure. So it looks copy.
Mhm.
When you look at the chain of events that happened
Wow.
after they.
So this is really a big bank trying to take little bank type of situation.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
So Cooper, initially you were like, okay, forget it. Here we are now in present day, and you're like, absolutely not. I'm going to pursue this. Why is it important to you to actually do this due diligence and to fight this? Because, you know, that's a lot of money on the table that you'll have to commit to, as well as your time, I'm certain. So why is this brand and this cause so important to you?
First of all, when I did the initial application, as Dayna said, it was the jockey man here inside of a crest with some horses, and it said Block Jockey Clothing. So when they contested it, I figured, all right, maybe they're tripping about the word jockey. So, and when I came back to it, I said, all right, I'm just going to submit my man in itself as art, because this is unique, 100% unique, way outside. So I'm just going to submit that as, and just get the trademark for that. And then they come back and say, no, that's ours and this and that. And now we start seeing a lot more stuff. That's when it was agitating me, like, okay, now we got to fight. All right. As far as why I'm continuing and not voting, because this is a passion and a vision of mine. So to say go away and just that's just saying I'm gonna allow these people just to kill my vision, kill my desire, my passion. I see Black Jockey being a very hot brand that's going to be around for a long time. It's not a fly by night. It's not going to be a fad. It's not, hey, it's nice T-shirts. It's going to be a nice, consistent brand that can that wants to travel through time. So I'm sticking to that vision. And if this monster is in front of me, we're going to do what we need to do to get him out the way.
I love that. So if I'm wearing Black Jockey clothing, because I want to talk about the brand a little bit. I want to get the swagger, right? So
Right.
if I am a consumer and I look into your brand, obviously you're selling more than underwear here, right? So
Right.
what kind of feel, what classification should a consumer take away from this clothing line? How
Well,
do
I
we
think,
feel when we wear it?
yeah, you should. It should be. It's a story. Like all my items, for the most part, are articulation of a jockey in history. The history of the black jockeys is that they dominated the sport of horse racing, equestrians throughout the time since slavery. Okay, manning the horses, carrying the horses, training the horses, and even riding the horses. So that was the first American athlete, if you will, as they see today. So in the early 1900s, they just eliminated all the black jockeys because the jockeys were starting to gain notoriety and fame and fortune. So they eliminated. A lot of them had to go overseas to Russia and Europe. So and because they were successful. So what I'm inspiring here is that us as African Americans in this country, that we have a brand that speaks to us, that shows that perseverance to overcome challenges and continue to be on. So once you wear a nice quality brand, you're making a statement that, hey, I'm here to stay, I'm successful, and I'm professional, and so on and so forth. So it don't have to sort of be strictly to horse racing. It can be any sport or anything in life in terms of business, overcoming challenges in business. I'm a jockey because I'm fighting against this company and I'm overcoming it. You're a jockey in the media business. You know what I mean? It's just that energy to overcome these challenges. And I want to bring a elegant urban attire, not too bougie, but just a nice casual sport wear that men and women can wear as well as children. And that's what I'm planning to bring.
I love that. And it's ironic that you mentioned it is Black History Month, so that's awesome. The history of Black jockeys in America. And it is always irony in truth, right?
Right.
So it's ironic that the Black Jockey was removed from historical reference and removed from history and replaced with very tiny white counterpart, to you now supporting the Black Jockey and being vilified by almost the exact same situation. That's crazy syllogism. Like, it's scary almost. So as far as your symbol, how can you and your legal team and Dayna, how can this help small businesses? Because I know that you guys are not, Black Jockey Clothing is not the first company who has been privy to a David and Goliath type of situation. There's been plenty. And I can think about the first reference I can think about, because, 5 o'clock somewhere, is Uncle Nearest and Jack Daniels. Like, this has been happening for quite some time, right? So what can you guys, how is this proving to be an example for other small Black businesses?
Lamont, you want to speak to that first?
No, you can go.
Okay, but I do want you to talk about, why go a little bit more about why you're passionate in this and what you've learned from this process. I think that's what she's asking. What you have learned from this process. So for me, I just believe I'm so passionate about this for the very reasons that you just said. And it's happened to someone else in my past. So a family member of mine has had to deal with this very same thing. And, you go back as far as Uncle Nearest, but this happens every single day. A lot of small businesses think, oh, I'm a small business, no one's checking for me. You're on the internet, they're checking for you. It's free labor. Even the big companies like free labor. So they will steal it, they have, and they will continue to do it. So this is nothing new, and it's happening every day. I would say for small business owners, what they need to do is they need to do their due diligence on the front end. Nobody wants to pay lawyers. Nobody wants to talk to lawyers. They think we're all trying to get their money, but we're going to get paid more on the back end if you have to pay us to clean it up, or you have to pay us to fight it. So do your due diligence on the front end to ensure that you have all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed, to try to avoid having to deal with this later on down the line. Now, there are some cases, and Jockey, my position is Jockey is one of them, that will definitely overreach. So you can still do your unfortunately, I'm sorry to say this, you can do your due diligence and run into a company that, again, overreaches, and they're trying to protect a brand or something more than what the law will allow. Those things you just can't afford. But if you try to do as much as you can on the front end, a lot of times you can avoid, encroaching upon somebody else's rights. And, even if you have to pay $2,000 or $3,000, and you can get a trademark for less than that, and advice, trademark counsel, and advice for less than that, even if you have to pay that is a small drop in the bucket compared to what you will have to pay to start all over. Let's just say you didn't even fight the case. You got to buy all new inventory. You got to change all your marketing. That's more than $2,000. I know people who pay $2,000 just to get a logo created. So now you got to do all of that all over again. So if you can avoid that to the extent possible, you just try to do what you can. So some of the things that you can, again, you can go get a lawyer and get do a strategy session for probably about $500 or $1,000, which would have given you the blueprint or the steps that you needed to do to avoid this on the front end. So of course I'm biased. I'm always going to say go with the lawyer. You can get a mentor, somebody who is in the industry, who has made the mistakes already and can help you avoid making the mistakes that they did. So I just implore, I beg to just to do your due diligence on the front end.
Yeah, because I know I can speak for, and Cooper, I'm going to let you talk too. I can speak for myself, like going into the trademark.gov website itself is too much for me. I call LegalZoom so fast. I'm like, please help me. I don't understand. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Is it $800? Is it $1,200? What am I doing? So yes, I completely agree with Dayna. So, Cooper, tell us your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with her because it does cost after the fact, and I would recommend that anybody who's starting any creative brand to definitely speak with counsel and try to trademark it before they get going. In my case, I had been going for a little while, so I've been out there and I've got extremely attached to my stuff. And now it's like, okay, no, you're just not going to come along and take it. Had I went into it earlier, I could have probably found out more strategic ways to get where I needed to get and establish myself. Because from the offset, as Dayna alluded to, if you look at Jockey International's so-called jockey, it's a stick figure. Nothing like this. No character. This guy right here is a black guy right here. They had a stick figure, and they never even used it for years. And then suddenly, just because I come out with the word jockey, now it's like, oh, let's jump on this guy, and then to turn around and kind of steal the ideal and come out with some type of sport line, which y'all stuck with underwears for years. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. So you gotta do the due diligence up front. And people come to me all the time and ask me what do I think. I tell them, hey, make sure you protect your intellectual property first and foremost, and get your business structured correctly before going down that path. And that's what I always recommend that. Instead of just going, because a person can get an ideal and they'll start printing t-shirts up instantly and selling t-shirts and putting it on Instagram and other stuff. And now you moving and all of a sudden somebody come along and steal it, or now they're suing you. So that's how that works.
For your own stuff.
Right.
For stuff that you've been doing.
Right.
I think about that.
And it's so funny because when I deal with small businesses against a large business and we get to the point where we're talking settlement, it's always, well, we will give you permission. And I kind of take it personal because I'm like, you can't give my client permission to use their own stuff. No, that is not how this works. So let's reframe this and let's start over again. But again, because they're the Goliath, it's just the hubris, the arrogance of, okay, well, I'm going to give you, after I stole your stuff, in our opinion, it was stolen. After that, I'm going to let you use it in this capacity. And I think that kind of pissed him off too. Like, no, you can't tell me where I can, give me restrictions. And I've been using this since 2006.
And I know we can't discuss the legal in totality, so I don't even want to, but I have questions because I'm like, what capacity do you mean? It's already e-commerce. I don't understand. Yeah.
Well, we can talk generally. I couldn't give you any specifics about this.
Yeah, because the thing about the trademark, I get the name, I understand, but the logo, like you said, and if you're not using this logo and you see mine and now yours are starting to look like mine, I feel like you have now tempered into another realm of IP, right? You're stealing now.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless, the name or not, technically, I guess Cooper could call it like Black Man Rides a Horse, and it's still the same moniker, it's still the same like bodice, right? They should no longer have an issue. Not to say that he would change it to Black Man Rides a Horse, but you know what I mean.
Right. No, absolutely. And I mean, those are the types of discussions that you will engage in. So again, we won't go into the whole legal thing, but part of the settlement discussions they may include things like restrictions in geographic reach or restrictions in marketing. But if it is your position that you were here first, and again, you see this chain of events that occurred that make it look like an open and shut case, that these things did not happen until you encountered me. How are you going to, it really just enrages you. It angers you to think, now you're going to tell me what restrictions I can do in my marketing, but it's mine, so it's just, it pisses me off every time. I mean, it just, I don't know if I can say that. I don't know.
You can.
Okay. It pisses me off every time, again, because it's just to see the small businesses being taken advantage of, and they know that they can do it because generally the small businesses won't fight back. So just like Cooper didn't fight back in the beginning because they know that they don't have the resources, so they think they can get away with it, and a lot of times they do, and it's so unfortunate.
That it enrages me. I'm enraged. So what I would like to know is how you both are remaining positive in this process. Like, how are you not air punching like Cuba Gooden in Boys in the Hood right now? What's going on? How do you feel? How are you guys doing?
Well, for me, I mean, I'm a spiritual person, so, and I believe in speaking things into existence and putting things in existence. So he's just Jockey International is nothing more than a obstacle to make Jockey that much more powerful. So you got to be able to overcome those large challenges in order to persevere on the other side. So I don't think that, because it's like Dayna says, an open and shut case. It really, if you even use your common sense, anybody would say, hey, you guys stole this guy's stuff, period. And I feel like in the end, common sense, yeah, will persevere here, So I'm not. I know it's a money thing, and they're trying to drag me out, and I'm fortunate to be in a position now to be able to withstand that fight right there, all the way to where we needed to be, and so I'm good, and I thank God for that.
Well, I wish, I have a lot to, I'm not gonna say I wish, I have a lot to learn from Lamont Cooper, because although I am spiritual, I do a lot of punching and cussing when I get off of, when I'm going through something, because again, I'm passionate about it. It bothers me. Like I said, it just really pisses me off that, again, these big companies who have the resources to pay someone to do it, or could have licensed it from him, for just a little bit of change, would resort to in our opinion, stealing it, and trying to basically, what he was saying is trying to push him out, is they're filing frivolous motions because what they're trying to do is paper him to death until he runs out of money and he can't fight it anymore, because he wouldn't capitulate to their demands, or their settlement offers. And so every time he would say no, that he would not, accept whatever offer they were putting on the table, then here comes another silly motion that I'd have to fight. So that's just more money. So it pisses me off. And this may be Cooper's only experience with it, but because I experience it so often, and I see, again, fortunately, he's able to fight, but some of my clients haven't been able to fight it, and they had to just, tuck their tails and turn around. And, as a double minority, to see the majority take advantage of our opportunities to enter into a market that Black people are the reason why it's money in your pocket. Black people are the largest consumers.
Yes.
And and a lot of times we are the creators behind the brand. And so, see, I'm getting emotional. So, it pisses me off. So I do a lot of punching. I said I was going to start a boxing class so I could just get rid of some of this energy. But it angers me because I just wish that Black people really understood the power of their dollar, and white people do understand it, and they take advantage of it. And then again, like I said, when they try to come after a company who's now trying to get just a little piece, like a half of a percentage of the market, you take it and try to kick us out of it. It enrages me. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot to learn from him when it comes from that, because I get angry.
Do you count to 10? Because I count to 10. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, that don't work.
It doesn't work.
I can't say that I've tried that. I just try 4 letter words, and I'm kind of trying to get past that.
Common knowledge to everyone that knows me very well knows that if I don't get a 10 count, you are in big trouble. This levity does have a shut off.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll get real. But what's the reception like from the people that support your business? Are they encouraging? Are they telling you to keep fighting? Have you had a warm reception as far as the process concerned? Cooper?
You talking about customers or?
Yeah, like your support system. Everybody's behind you. Everybody's backing
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah, everybody. I mean, everybody loves the brand in itself, and they see the vision and where I want to go with it. I'm real meticulous about the products I kind of put out. So it's they specialty pieces. So and everybody loves it. So they want more, want more, want more. And I've kind of been slowly rolling out the process just because of what we got going on with Jockey International. You're seeing where we're going there. But you know, I feel like this thing probably come to some head this year, and I think that we're going to be able to have a great year. So I'm feeling real excited about 2021 myself.
I'm excited. So I've been asking everybody at the top of the year their one word for 2021. So for the both of you, I would like to know the one word that you're going to use to propel you throughout this year. Starting with my air boxing friend, Dayna.
You gonna put me on the spot. That's a good question. Can you come back to me? I was gonna say fight, but I'd like to.
I knew you would.
I'd like to use something more positive because I'm actually a very, like you said, spiritual and you know, positive. I am a positive person. But you just got me all worked up. So the only thing I can think about right now is just we gonna fight this. And coming out of, and you know, we in the middle of COVID, all I can think is just fight, push through, persevere. Maybe persevere. That's it. I'm gonna take Cooper's word. Perseverance. You know, don't let nobody get you down. You know, fight, just persevere through it all. So I'll say perseverance.
She got purses, so she perseveres.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag hope. Okay, Cooper, what about you?
Well, I work on this because I do life coaching. I have weekly sessions. So, you know, my word for this year is manifest, because we have the ability to manifest whatever it is that we want. You just got to see it, energize it through that vision, and feel it as if it already existed.
Yeah.
Okay? And you got to, because we can feed negativity and create negativity, or we can feed positivity and constantly create that. So I choose to live in my dreams and manifest them with my actions. There you go.
He's better than us, Dayna.
I told you I need to learn from him. I'm gonna have to log into one of his classes. But yeah.
Yes, and I have to credit that question to Dr. Chris Snyder. That's actually one of my clients, and she is peddling that one word every week. She got a new one. It's crazy. So don't feel bad though, Dayna. Power was actually on my list because I couldn't do one, so I decided to, you know, be extra. So I chose 12. So.
Well, one
for each month. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Power is like February, so it's good.
I'm gonna take that one for Women's History Month.
Yeah, you keep that one for March. So the last thing that I have for you is where everybody can follow your brand, Cooper, and anything that you have pipelined that you are willing to share with us.
We're working on some things, but everybody can follow me at Black Jockey Clothing on IG, as well as Facebook, but I don't do too much on there. But the website is blackjockeyclothing.com. We always have our items on there, as well as some history and stuff that we like to post up there. But it's things coming. We got some things in the works. Got some things.
Nice.
Yes.
Dayna, I'm assuming your roster is full at the present time. Is that fair?
It is, but I'm trying to clear it for Cooper. So once, hopefully these outstanding motions will help narrow the issues, if not just close the case completely. But I'm trying to close my other cases so that I'm just very passionate about this. And I wanted to make sure that I'm available for him to fight this all the way to the end.
Yeah. And I just coined this phrase just now. I'm feeling inventive. Y'all are inspiring me today. This is what we like to call retail activism. Okay.
Okay.
There are times when commerce and economy will have some issues and deflections as it relates to big business and Fortune 500 companies. And having the opportunity to be brave enough and being in a financial position to be strong enough to fight for what you believe in is the core meaning of this interview. And before you guys leave, I want you to be proactive in keeping up with the Black Jockey Clothing Company. The more consumers he has, the less likely those people are going to be able to thwart them. This is a true thing. And like Cooper said earlier, our Black dollar is equally as important everywhere. But obviously, Cooper is putting your Black dollar first because there is a Black person on his shirt. So wherever, not to guilt you guys into spending in any particular place, but you want to ensure that the dollars that you are putting into the economy are going to places with people who will represent you in mind. So thank you guys so much for watching with us. Again, my name is Laura Miller, here with Dayna and Cooper. Dayna is the legal counsel for the Black Jockey Clothing Company, and Cooper is the owner and core designer. So again, it's been wonderful talking to you guys. This is SHEEN Magazine. Talk to you guys soon.